Good morning. Happy Wednesday. How are you? How's your week going so far? Sorry, not quite used to this hotel lighting this morning. So I know there's storms all over the place. I hope you are safe and dry wherever you're at. So wanted to share this morning is so interesting. In the morning, when I get up, before I even get out of bed, I do my gratitude practice. And then hi Mishana, hi gorgeous. I talk with God. That's just a really good time for me, that he and I just chat. And it's so interesting just how I never really know how those conversations are gonna go. I used to have a lot of kind of expectations and intentions, and so as I've kind of grown, now I just go into those conversations without those expectations and intentions. So this morning, it was real interesting. So hi, good morning, Raymond. I wanted to share with y'all. So last night, like I had shared yesterday, I'm really blessed this week to have my coworker and super great friend here with me. So this week I don't have to eat by myself. Yay! So last night, because the Stars were playing, we ate at Texas Live. If you're ever in Arlington, it's a super fun place to eat, big screens, and so it's a great place to watch sports. And so we were eating there and watching the game and just chatting and having fun together, enjoying each other's company. And I absolutely love wings. Like that's one of my all-time favorites. When I'm on the road for a long time, for a couple weeks, when I get home, I always know my honey has laid out wings and he's gonna grill wings. That's kind of that's just our thing. And he just does that as a special for me because he knows I love them. So they have these Thai chili, I think it is, wings there. They were super great, but it comes with 9, and for me that's like too many. So I ate, I don't know, 4 or 5, and so I'm looking at these wings and I'm like, okay, I need a box. So I bring the rest back. So this morning, God and I are having our little chat, and it came to me, it's like, why did you bring those wings back? And I'm like, because they're good, right? Is this like a real question? And, but God, I think God, because, it's just like a parent, right? He's our parent. He knows us better than we know ourselves. He knows like my personality, and I'm kind of, spicy and kind of a little bit of a control enthusiast. So he kind of eases me into these conversations so I can be open enough to really listen to his guidance. And he's like, no, really, why? And so, like, what is it about, like, leaving that? Why did you bring it? So I was thinking about, well, your mom tells you, don't waste food, all the things, like we've grown, or not, maybe not everybody, but like I grew up with don't waste food. It was really good. I can eat it again. Maybe I can have that for lunch or dinner today. And so then here's where it gets real, y'all. He's like, so how'd you feel last night when you went to bed? Or how'd you feel, after you ate them? I was like, well, when I was eating them, I felt fabulous. It was fun. They were great. And that was true, right? Like it really was. But they were super duper spicy. And so last night, I had a real quick moment of fabulous. Last night when I was trying to go to sleep, I wasn't feeling so fabulous. My tummy was a little mad at me. So all like last night, my stomach was upset. And so he kept asking me, no, I'm talking about like after. How'd you really feel? I was like, fine. I didn't feel great. It wasn't as fun as it was when I had them. And, so it kind of got into the whole thing of, I had a real short-term reward, but the long-term reward, I know spicy wings is probably, that's not contributing to my long-term health, right? And then so I even brought home the rest to do that same thing over again. So then the question got even harder. It came to my heart, like, so why the wings? Like, I know you like them, you want that fun, but like, what drew you like to make that choice? And here's the reality of it. Like right now, because when I'm not stressed, I do a really good job at making choices that make my body feel good, that help me, that I know are good for me long term. If I get super stressed, it's not as easy. And if I'm not super intentional, I fall back into old habits of how I deal with stress. And some of my long-term habits of dealing with stress are eating, drinking, just some of those things that aren't as, they feel good real short term, but they don't feel good long term. And, right now, I'm under an extreme amount of stress. Now, here's what's interesting. These are all great stresses. There is nothing bad going on in my life. We're going through some changes at work. I took on the whole state rather than just my half of the state, but it's just temporary. I'm very close to these staff. I love these staff, but now I have 12 units rather than just 5. Which is a whole lot, and that's like from El Paso to Houston, East Texas. But that's not a bad thing, and it's good for me for growth, but that creates a lot of stress. We're gonna be grandparents. Like, isn't that I love this baby boy, and he's not even here yet. So we're planning a baby shower. That is fabulous, but it's stress, right? It adds extra things to the day. And our daughter has passed her board. She's going to be a dentist. We're getting ready for graduation. We're planning, getting ready. We want to have a family celebration. That's stress, right? But none of these things are bad. These are beautiful, fabulous things. But what I found, and I hadn't acknowledged, was like, I'm under all this stress and I've not been intentional. So I went back to those, hi, Miss Jennifer. Girl, I promise I haven't forgot you. I'll be right there. What I didn't realize is under all these stresses, even though they're great, beautiful things, I'm reverting back to those old ways of dealing with stress. Eating things that maybe aren't great for me, overeating, drinking, just things that aren't good for my body. Now, here's the thing about these chats with God in the morning. He never just leaves me. He always pushes me to my very limit. So that wasn't the end of the conversation. He said, okay, so we've talked about this whole wing thing, why you brought it back, why you chose them in the first place. What else? Are there any other choices? Are there any other stories that you're holding on to, that you're going back to, that either aren't good for you anymore or never were meant for you in the first place, but you need to let go of them? What leftovers and what lies do you need to let go of? And I mean, immediately I could start thinking of things, and I knew right then that was not going to be an assignment that I could finish this morning, because Miss Jennifer and I here, we got to go to the office and I need to grab some breakfast. So I was like, oh shoot, he's giving me like an assignment I'm gonna have to do a little work on. And so it just was really placed on my heart to share with you, my experience from last night, my chat this morning, what was laid on my heart, and to just ask you, are there things that you're holding on to? Are there leftovers? Are there lies that either aren't good for you anymore, or they were never ever meant for you in the first place? But these things that we accept as true, but if they didn't come from God, they're not for us, and we have the power to let go of them. But here's what's so interesting. We're made phenomenally, and once we put that habit, that path in the brain, whenever a situation comes up, the brain is like, it's like a fabulous computer. It's like, okay, here's how we handle that. Here's what happens with that. So if we've said something or done something for a long time, the brain goes on autopilot. It's like, okay, here's how I do that. Here's how we handle that. But we also have the power to reprogram that, but we have to be super intentional. So I'm going to need y'all's help and support on this. I am going to work on this assignment because apparently God's like tapping me on the shoulder saying, girl, you got some leftovers in life you need to let go of. So I'm going to ask you to do the same. and we can walk through this process together, because I really want us to be in alignment with who God called us to be. So I'm fixing to go down so Miss Jennifer doesn't leave me here, because I want to ride with her to work today. And just know that I love you. I'm so grateful to have you as a part of my journey. Just lift my spirit. And thank you for allowing me to be a part of yours. Love you guys.